Hey, Bentley here, Too Damn Many Projects with another damn project. And, well, I just put up a video a few days ago about the motorhome and probably a little explanation as to why we're talking about a motorhome. Well, we work on a lot of them. We fix a ton of them because they're all wired wrong to begin with. Nothing right about them. They're basically a truck. They throw 2 extra batteries on. They wonder why the alternators burn out all the time and the batteries are always fried. The house batteries are dead, the start batteries overcharged every year, new batteries, trannies go out, all kinds of problems with these things. And there's no reason for it because they're just cheap. Everything about motorhomes is cheap, cheap, cheap. And you pay big money for them. So this is one of our peeves. That's why we do what we do. This is a 91 that I'm working on here that we've been doing the videos on. You saw earlier videos about the wiring under the hood than the one earlier about what we're doing on this project, and we're carrying forward on it. Parts are coming in every day. So we're going to talk about why we're working on a 91 motorhome with a 454 gas guzzling pig and a 3-speed automatic transmission. Why in the hell would you want one of these? I'll tell you why. You want to go spend $300,000 or $400,000 on a motorhome that's all new, has tons of electronics in it. Oh, I can put the slide outs out and in with my telephone. Wow, that's a big deal. Oh, it puts the awning up, and if it rains, it puts the awning away. There's so much wind, it puts the awning away. It does all this stuff, right? What happens when it breaks? It does within 90 days of delivery. All right, there's a lot of folks on YouTube. If you don't believe me, go listen to them. There's a gal, don't know her, I watch her once in a while. She's called Liz Amazing. She's been a motorhome person for years, and we're watching all the great companies that made great motorhomes going right down the drain and having tons and tons of consumer problems. And it's really sad because unless you spend a couple $1 million on a Prevost, it looks like all you're going to get is a can of garbage. A lot of expensive carpet and fake woodwork that peels after 30, 40 days. It's really surprising. We've run into them, brand new units. Things have peeled off the wall. They quit functioning. It's just, there's so much wiring in them, there's so much crap that, well, they started wiring them halfway correct with the charging system. Unfortunately, everything else is screwed up. So here we are. Why a 91? Well, number one, we are doing a lot of things to increase the efficiency of the 454. This is not for our personal gain. We're doing this to show you. We've got a baseline. We're getting about 9 miles to the gallon out of this thing on the last trip. Now, it's a hair less than that because we're running the generator, but I kind of figured that thing's sucking up about 1 gallon an hour, okay? Running both air conditioners. So we're showing up better at, 8.5. So I'm figuring our motor's getting 9 miles a gallon, which is a lot better than most 454s. They did put good exhaust on it, fairly good exhaust. They have glass packs, which I'm going to replace. I'm not a glass pack guy. But we intend to put a set of headers on it. We are changing a lot of things on this motorhome engine. We did not change the transmission yet. We still got the 3-speed in it, okay? We want to get the engine to its most efficient. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to fix things like the vent in the water tank because, we couldn't put 10 gallons of water in it. And we pulled this fitting out of here, got back in the pipe, it was full of all kinds of crap, bugs and nests and stuff. We cleared it out, now it's full. Everything has to work in a motorhome. You don't want things not to work. If your motor dies and you overheat and you need water, you don't have enough water in a water tank, you're just like everybody else out there. So motorhomes have some advantages. There's some things that really work on them that are nice. But as we walk down this way, come join me a little bit. We discovered something lovely in here. We discovered something fabulous. We have disc brakes all the way around, which gives us the added advantage of not losing the brakes on hills, because brake fade or loss of brakes comes from a drum that expands so large from heat that the shoes don't touch. Well, can't do that with a disc, but onward and upward we keep moving along, and we get up here in the front. We got KYB shock absorbers to put on this thing in the front. We have a new master cylinder for it. We have a new Hydro Boost unit coming for it. That's what operates the brakes. It's got a booster that works off the power steering pump. We also noticed in our trip last, that's why we like shakedown cruises, because we made lists. We have a whole roll of really good insulation that goes in the engine compartment. This isn't insulation on the outside, it's on the inside. Stop the heat before it gets here. So we're going to put a new seal on the engine hatch and re-insulate it, and then insulate everything else. The carpet's coming out, the insulation under it was garbage, no big deal. That's going to get done. And we come this direction. And from what you saw the other day, we have moved a lot of things. All right, we're going to have our electric air conditioning compressor somewhere over here. No more air conditioning over there on the motor. All those hoses that went over there, gone. All the hoses are going to be right here. Here's the evaporator and the expansion valve. Everything here, the condenser is going to be here with an electric fan. It will not be blowing hot air from the air conditioning system into the radiator. New radiator coming for it. Hopefully it's exactly what we want. It's an aluminum 4-row. Not easy to get radiators for these. As is, I'm going to have to modify the header that surrounds the radiator so we can put water in it. And speaking of water, I didn't get me a can of it. Dang it! I thought, well, never mind. I don't need a jug of it. We are going to use Evans waterless coolant. Now, for those of you who know what it is, I don't have to sell you on it. I don't have to tell you anything. But the bottom line is that those of you who have used it, know it, love it, swear by it, and the ones that don't know of it just need to, because here's the thing. I've used it on Rolls Royces and Bentleys for years with these god-awful heating problems that English cars have. And I think it'll be a great addition to the motorhome, because Evans does not expand when it gets hot. It's not water. Water expands when it gets hot. It also expands when it freezes, which is what makes your block crack, and that's why icebergs only have 10% sitting above the water and 90% under the water, because that's the expansion. So that's lifted part of the iceberg up, because when it expanded, it was lighter than the water it displaced. It's more nonsense to go over here, but the bottom line is the stuff is good to 360 degrees plus, which regular coolant only goes to about 250, and then you're cooked. Because it doesn't expand, there's absolutely no pressure in the system. I've seen them run without even a hose clamp on a radiator hose, and it's phenomenal because it doesn't build up pressure, which is good for every component that you have in the engine. The hoses, the water pump. The fact that it's not under pressure means that that whole system is not strained down to the smallest part. Yeah, you got a pressure cap on it. You have it, won't do any good. It's not boiling. You can take the cap off when it's 230 degrees. Other than the fact that it'll burn the hell out of you just touching it, you're not going to have coolant trying to blow out like you would on a normal ethylene glycol system. So that's going to be good for this. It's also more efficient at shedding heat, which is very good. We all need that. The 4-row radiator is going to be phenomenal for that. That's a vast improvement over what was in here. It's aluminum, which sheds heat better than copper brass. And right now, what we're working on is getting all these wires wound up and secured and everything put to bed, so we don't have this. This is stuff, it's all, things are captured, things are twisted, there's issues. We're getting rid of those. That's all going away. It's going to be loomed properly, and it's going to appear like a professional wiring job, and that's what this has got to be. So all this new stuff going on here. We have a transmission cooler coming with a fan on it, and the condenser also has a fan, plus the radiator has 2 fans. And I'm standing here looking at the front of the Bentley, right here in the grill. I was going, damn, I've been looking all over hell. I put a couple of nuts in it. I've been looking all over hell, but this, my auxiliary tranny cooler. I was fitting it, so somebody that I was talking to with a Bentley was trying to figure out, what can I put on there for auxiliary cooling? Well, that's it. It fits right in the front. But I forgot it was sitting there. We put the grill on. That happens in the shop, man. This car isn't going to run for a while. We're not going to worry about it.
Especially with the rats.
Oh,
we need to get rid of the rats.
Oh, the rats are gone. They're not here. They were at home. They're at the other place. Not here. But so the whole front of this thing you know, it's changing. The whole engine compartment, everything to do with the electrical. We have a 320 amp alternator coming. This is a 105 amp alternator, and we found out on the trip that the house batteries are killing it. It cannot keep them charged. It's trying to operate at 105 amps full out charge, and number one, none of them ever do. So it's probably putting out about 90. Its duty cycles at least maybe 30%. They're not expected to be on all the time. Well, the alternator we're getting now is 320 amps, and that is 100% amperage at 100% duty cycle, which changes the whole complexion of it. It will be able to charge these two. We want to come and look at this. These two AGM batteries that we have here. They're deep cycle AGM batteries, and the problem with those batteries is your truck or car alternator can't keep up with them. They will kind of evaporate. The alternator will cook. It'll just. This thing ran so bad we ran out of power completely. It wasn't charging the start battery at all. It pulled power from it, as a matter of fact, because we ran out of power. We ended up on the side of the road in Red Bluff, California. No power and no lights. And of course, we turned the lights onto the house system, the cabin lights, you could see there, and then we jumped off of the other battery. But somebody has messed with the wiring since we worked on it. I don't know who that might be, but somebody's got something hooked up wrong. And maybe we did it, but I don't think so. I'm gonna go double check it and make sure that, like I said, the start battery is sacred. Only thing it does is start the motor. Doesn't do anything else. It charges when it needs it, shuts off when it doesn't, and that's the only thing it's for. The house battery runs everything. It runs the engine, it runs the transmission, and the whole bit. So this trip is going to see how we do with headers and better cooling system, electric fans rather than having that big clutch fan up in front. We will see how it produces power, what it does with heat, and what the fuel economy is. I'm expecting a couple of miles a gallon better fuel economy, but the big one is going to come after this trip, and we are going to put a 4L80E in here. Because it's a 91, the 4L80E existed in vehicles in 91, so I can take the same engine wiring harness that's in a pickup truck that had a 4L80E in it in 91, 92, 93, 94, and they all had the throttle body injection. So we just use that whole system, use their wiring harness, plug them in, change the computer, and pow, we've got an automatic transmission that's electronic that shifts based on the motor parameters like new ones do. And now we'll see what it does with the transmission. I suspect 3 miles a gallon out of the transmission. So the goal, yeah, you're gonna think I'm out of my mind. I'm gonna try to get 15 miles a gallon out of this thing. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to do that. The tires have to be up to max allowable pressure. You can't drive like a crazy man, and I'm a crazy man. There's just a lot of things that cause problems that shut your mileage down, and many of them are motor related. One of the other things we're doing is we have an EGT, which is exhaust gas temperature sensor, that will tell us how hot the exhaust is. Are we getting enough fuel in the engine, or are we not getting enough? We'll have an air-fuel ratio sensor, which will tell us basically the same thing, but in a different perspective. Trans temperature, so we know what's going on with it in the cooler. I didn't realize this thing had no cooler. We went down there with the cooler that was in the radiator, and those things are garbage. And anybody that thinks that cooler in the radiator is worth anything, go away. I don't want you anywhere near me, because I'll tell you what, I've got 50-something years experience watching those coolers turn automatic transmissions into garbage because they seep. All of them seep, all right? Every one of them.
And where did we go without front air conditioning? we went
yeah.
with only
roof air on the generator, all the way down to Phoenix, Arizona, the 7th ring of hell.
In the middle of
July. In the middle of July, which is telling you, now this is going to be the middle of August. We're going to head down there again, and this time we will have the front air conditioner. It really didn't need the front AC that bad, except for the air leaks coming through the door from the heat outside, and then the few air leaks I had from the hatch, the engine cover. So other than that, front air, it did just fine. The roof air units took care of it. But the nice thing about the front air, if it's sufficient enough, if it's efficient enough, you can close the halfway door in it and not run any of the roof air in the generators, because this should keep the front cabin cool. So we'll see. We're going to find out everything we want to know about this thing.
Not only did it keep the front cabin cool, it had me with a throw blanket for a good portion of the trip. So
we had to take the rear air unit and
dial it down.
We had to cover the back vents because they're blowing right into bed, and they'll give you a freaking headache from that. But interesting thing about this motorhome, I don't know how many people out there know this trick. This has a really good generator. It's a really high-powered on end. And when you go in here to the shore power cord, you know, you plug it in the wall. You can only get one air conditioner, right? That's all you get on shore power, because you're on 30 amp service at its best. But if you can sneak, I don't know if you get the camera in here.
I don't know.
And you can stick it in there enough to look right there.
I'm tripping over the
Let me
carpet.
try this. Okay. Let me see if
Don't
this.
put your hands over.
There you go.
You're showing black there.
I know, hang on a minute. There we go. See this? There's a plug in here. And I didn't know this, but yonder plug is an interesting trick. You plug your shore power cord into that plug when you've got the generator running and both air units running. In fact, what's funny is all the electrical equipment, the plug-ins, would not work in the front. Worked in the back, didn't work in the front. I'm to find out as soon as I plugged it in, they all work. So what are we going to do? This is it. We're basically, we'll bring you up to speed as we go along. We tried getting rid of some of the decals because they look like crap. Yeah, just take a picture of this. It doesn't look that pretty. But let me tell you something. Other than the fact that we've got everything torn apart to work on it, we'll show you a picture of the interior, because the interior on this thing is dynamite. It's got a couple of really lovely Steelcraft pull-out lounges in it. It's got the best damn mattress I've slept on in years. Now the bathroom, we're going to redo the head because the one we got is too low. When you're sitting on that thing and your knees are above your hips, there's a problem, especially with my knees. So we got a higher one. And the flusher is much easier to handle than the old one. So we're going to do that. There's a lot of comfort things we're doing here. Eventually the gas stove will be gone. We'll have an electric cooktop, because the electric cooktop, the inductive type, doesn't use resistance for heat. And as a consequence, you can't use inverters on resistance units at all. It just sucks the batteries dry. But you can use it on an inductive type cooktop because it's not resistive. So interesting fact, we're doing it on a boat, we're doing it on this. It works way better. The plan on this thing is to really make a modern, comfortable, efficient motorhome. Okay, that's what we want. Something that rivals the newer stuff, but without the problems.
Okay, my hands are getting tired.
Oh my God!
But I want you to very quickly.
My mouth is getting tired.
I want you to give the 2-minute preview or the 30-second preview of the boat.
Oh yeah.
That we had to put aside to work on the motorhome.
Yeah. We were working on that to get it in the water this year, and we pulled the plug on that so that we had the motorhome. And the motorhome came in really, really handy. It's just been phenomenal. Couldn't be pleased more at the motorhome, and that's why we're spending all the time and effort on it. It's a pain in the ass. All new instruments in the cluster, LED lights everywhere, new stereo system. What's that?
And the Bentley in the corner.
Yeah, the Bentley in the corner.
Still waiting for time. Still being lonely.
When we get back from this last trip with the motorhome, the Bentley's going to get some love. Jacob's got to pull the wheels off on the inner fender so we can get some of the hoses on it, and we'll bring you up to date on what's going on with the old Arnaud. But thank you for checking in, and just wanted to give you a really long-winded explanation of why we're on this old motorhome, which when it's done and it's painted, it won't look like an old motorhome.
It really is nice inside when we get all the tools up off the floor.
Yeah, it's a nice motorhome. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, don't forget, because we have a whole bunch of desert bugs we'll bring back from Arizona for you, to make sure you like and subscribe, or we'll send over those scorpions. Yeah, stomp them. I don't care. They make a nice dinner. What the hell? You can cook them. Indians have been eating for years. They know something we don't know, I guess. But yeah, do like and subscribe. It helps us out, and makes people get more people to look at the site and all. So appreciate it if you do that for us, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Bye.